So hello all the Star Technophiles, this is Ojasvi Jain and this video will going to be a very informative to all of you. Here I am going to cover two very important questions that I haven't covered in my previous video, that why and which programming language you should consider first. So before going ahead, I really want to give you kind of an intuition of a learning. What it is, if you really want to learn anything, whether it is a technical stuff and the non-technical stuff, you should be very clear with your why you want to learn that. Because our human mind never accepts the things very easily, especially the new stuff. It requires so much time, so much effort and so much hard work to do that. So we should have a kind of a solid reason to make our mind to do that. And let me tell you, if you are clear with your why now, you don't require a kind of extra motivation to do that. Your inner motivation is sufficient to do that stuff. So that's why I really want to give you a solid reason or a solid why you should consider this programming language in your future career and why you should add this skill as your programming language. So without any much delay, let's crack on.
Now the question arises which programming language I'm going to talk about, right? So I really want to reveal that this programming language is nothing but a Java and the script. So JavaScript is the most popular language nowadays. Even if you see the statistic released by the huge developers communities like GitHub and Stack Overflow, JavaScript always be the top 3 language among all the programming languages. So this is a Stack Overflow survey of very recent, that is 2021. Just I want to highlight about this report is that this survey is based on the 83,439 software developers from 181 countries around the world. I really want to recommend you to please go through that survey. The documentation they have prepared in a very well mannered, and this kind of documentation give you a kind of analysis that which programming language you should consider as a skill in your future. So that's a very important fact, and definitely I will mention this link in a description. So I really recommend you to please go through that. Now the next very important point, or my favorite one, is the JavaScript developer are in demand and well paid. No doubt at all. If you see any job portal, if you search it out the JavaScript developer, then definitely you will find out the thousands of the opportunity out there in the market. Or if you learn any of the JavaScript framework, then you will get a best compensation out there in the market. So irrespective of your background, you will get the opportunities in terms of knowledge with if you learn the JavaScript as a language. Now let's move on the very important point and very crucial one, which is that the JavaScript has a massive developers community. That is very important because when we are learning any new programming languages, we stuck somewhere or we unable to figure out the proper solution for that. So at that time, that thing play a very crucial role, because for example, if you stuck somewhere, what you have to do, just take a screenshot of your problem, put on a Stack Overflow website with a proper description, sit, relax, have one cup of tea. Once you are done with your tea, come back, see your question, you will find out that 4+ solution of your problem. So this is the power of the massive developer communities, that you will get a proper solution with very less amount of time, and this is very helpful when you are in a learning stage, right? Now next move on the very amazing point, that is wide range of the uses of the JavaScript. From now onwards, you will figure out that the huge versatility of the JavaScript. Now I really want to move one by one with a one by one domain. First one is a front end domain. This is one of my favorite one, because whatever you can see on the screen, that you can imagine that. Okay, so the if you talk about the front end, the three pillars come into our mind, that HTML, CSS and JavaScript. No doubt at all, without these three stuff you can't do anything in a front end. But if you really want to work in a real time project, then you have to learn one of the frameworks out there, for example Angular, for example Vue, and for example React. These all other framework are the very famous one, and you can pick any one of them. There is no issue at all. But let me tell you that the graph of the React will goes high day by day with because the React come up with a very fancy features like re-rendering, reusable component, and my favorite one is a virtual DOM. So you can pick any one of them, no issue at all. But if I really want to describe that which one you should consider, then the React is one among them. Okay, let's move on the backend part. So for the backend, Node.js is the king. Popularity of the Node.js today increases exponentially. Node.js is currently used by a well-known companies like Netflix, Uber, PayPal, and Twitter. And Node.js is a kind of a interesting intersection between the front end and the back end technology. Node.js extend the capability of the JavaScript. So this is a very amazing fact about a Node.js. Is one of the best framework for a backend side. Now let's move with this is the statistic that I got from the Stack Overflow only, that Node.js is the 6th most important programming language out there. So this is also amazing fact, right? Now let's move with the desktop application. So the frameworks are available for desktop application is Electron. Electron is one of the famous framework. You can easily develop a distributed application for the Windows, Mac, Linux with the same code. So this is a very amazing fact about the Electron. The famous desktop application like Slack, Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp app are built on a Electron. Now let's move on the mobile app development. In a mobile app development, the various frameworks out there for the JavaScript. The famous one is a React Native, Ionic, and the Native Script. I really want to highlight the point about the React Native. The React Native is used to build a cross-platform related application, and so many world's leading applications like Skype and Instagram are built on a React Native. Now let's move on the very amazing part, that is nothing but a machine learning. Whenever I read an article about the machine learning, I always figure out that the Python is the one of the language that you have to learn to move with a machine learning. But now the JavaScript also, the framework of the JavaScript is also there for the machine learning like TensorFlow to Mind.js. I really want to highlight some point about the TensorFlow is the one of the best library out there. It is an open source framework for the numerical computation of the large scale machine learning. And when we talk about the AI, TensorFlow is the amazing one as a clear winner most of the time. So this is a very amazing fact about the machine learning and very booming area nowadays, let me tell you. Now let's move for deep learning. And in the deep learning, the frameworks are available for JS is deeplearn.js, connect.js, and the brain.js. Now has proved that the JavaScript everywhere. So you can see the huge power of the JS and the huge versatility of the JS. Now I can say that this is a perfect time to start, and this is a real kickoff for you why you should consider JavaScript for your career.
So what are you waiting for, Sarji? Schedule your timetable to learn the JavaScript, and definitely this channel will going to help you a lot. I always highlight that your priority list should be very clear before going for any kind of a programming languages, and this channel will give you that stuff only. You will get the mastery in the king of the programming language, definitely, no doubt at all. So as of now, take care, have a nice day, and see you in the next video.